Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk, the Todd Worsham Show. Well, today we have a special guest, Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren is a local, I wrote this down on my notes from last week. Our Maine people called Mainers.
Yes. Mainers, maniacs.
Maniacs or Mainers?
Yes,
okay. Because I was talking about you last week on the show, and that was one of the questions I asked, and I promised the audience that I would answer that. So, at any rate, Mr. Warren, give us a little bit of your background and growing up in Maine, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I was actually born in Maryland, lived there till I was 7. When they shot Martin Luther King, the whole place went crazy. They were burning and rioting, and they killed and raped the lady next door to us in the apartment. And my father packed up a little trailer in a van, borrowed $500 from his father, and we moved to Maine. He didn't even have a job, and I've been here ever since. Best thing that man ever did for me. That's how I ended up here, and I don't know where else I'd go to live. I don't like the cold, but then again, man, I love the people. I hate to say it. It's a good group of people.
Actually, I'm learning that it is. Everybody I've come in contact with here has been extremely nice.
We are maniacs, so bear that in mind. I mean,
yeah, I can hear the sirens in the cars at the night.
6 months out of the year, it's below zero, so we just kind of, we're stupid. We're a little stupid.
But the one thing that makes me laugh here is you can't see a female here without a nose ring.
Oh my God!
At least one of them.
Yeah.
The Circle K I go to down the street, the girls that work there, they got like 3 or 4 nose rings and all this stuff. And I'm just thinking, God.
Do you always think too that, imagine getting hit? If you have all that metal in, and if I was going to fight you, I would just bring a magnet. And then I could just pin you to the floor. It's kind of like when they were wearing their pants down around their butt. First thing I do is pant you, then uppercut you. I win. I don't have any piercings. I actually had a girl shove an earring through my ear at the tavern bar one night when I was about 20, and it got so infected 3 weeks later.
Wow.
That I pulled that out, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to have an earring. I'm going to be that guy. And I never have. I got a couple tattoos, but.
Yeah, I have no tattoos, no piercings, no nothing. So.
The piercing thing, the nose thing, and then the tongue. Oh, my God. I mean, it just looks like that would hurt. It would look like it would hurt.
I mean, I don't have anything against it.
Oh, no.
But.
You be you.
I would never. So. I'm the type of person that if I put a tattoo on me 3 weeks later, I'd be trying to get it off because I don't want it on there anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could probably do the temporary tattoo stuff, but I could never permanently put something on me that would just drive me insane. So,
you should always avoid neck tattoos too.
So I haven't really been here during the spring or fall yet. I got here in the very end of October, beginning of November. So all I've been able to see here is the winter life. And in my opinion, it kind of sucks because everybody just stays locked up in their house and everybody gets in their little bubble. At first I thought it was me. I thought, well, and then I started talking to some of the locals and they started laughing at me. They said, no, that's how it is during the wintertime. During the wintertime, we're like bears and we just all hibernate.
Yeah.
And then once the cold goes away, we all come out and it turns into a normal.
You'll like summer.
Yeah.
You will really like our summer. Spring's okay. My favorite's fall. Tourists are gone. The bugs are gone. And I'm sitting on my porch watching my birds eat. Possibly getting high.
So we earlier off the show we were talking about some topics, and one of the things we were talking about was abortion rights and choosing your choice.
Yeah.
Right. So you had a good point. You're talking about if someone shot a pregnant lady, that would be a double homicide. But yet, when you abort a baby,
it's not.
It's legal.
Right. So is it alive or not? Because that's the basis of that argument is it's not alive. It's a group of cells, and the woman has complete sovereignty over that. However, then why would it not be the same if I shoot you? I just killed you. because the baby wasn't a baby yet. Remember,
Right.
that's your argument. I personally believe the baby's a baby at least from the heartbeat
Right.
on. That's my own personal opinion, but yeah, it's kind
And then like what I was saying earlier, okay, so they're arguing for their rights to choose. So where's the right for the fetus to choose? Where's where's their right to live and their right to choose to live or choose to die?
well,
So that's why I think this whole thing is kind of selfish. I mean, on the top level, it sounds like it's meaningful.
Yeah.
You know, but
they always interject to, well, so you want the mother to die? Well, no, since I was a kid, I'm 62, that if the mother was in danger, the mother was saved and the baby it was secondary because the baby wasn't here yet. So these are all arguments that they use to say, to make themselves not realize that they're killing a baby. And in fact, I've discussed with many women, quick story. I had a friend, and she was lonely. She was my age and she couldn't find anybody. And so she looked at me one day on the couch and she says, listen, she said, how do you do it? How do you live alone? I said, well, I'm not alone. Half the time I have my kids here.
right.
I said, but didn't she had an abortion when she was 20? I said, but didn't you kill your kid in your 20s?
Oh my God.
That's exactly how I said it. Sir.
Oh my God.
Because I'm a firm believer in reality.
Right.
And she started bawling and I said, well, that's the truth. Probably your kid would come visit you.
Right.
But you chose to kill him. There's ramifications for all choices. What we want in this country is, well, not this country per se, but the world, is we want to be able to make choices with zero ramifications. Well, it doesn't work that way. There's a reaction for every action. My father taught me that quite well before I was 10, that if I pissed him off, the reaction was going to be his hand across my butt. and she, that's a true comment. That's a true story. She lost her cookies, and I'm thinking, well, you chose this. You know?
Well, and there's been a lot of people like on Newsmax and Fox News and some other news stations where people have come out and talked about that, how they screwed up and how they'll never ever be able to recover from that on an emotional standpoint.
You killed your child.
Ever.
You killed your child. The bottom line, when you're all alone in your room, you killed your child.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
I don't know how you feel
I'll be honest with you. I can't believe we don't have. I can't even understand how we're having this argument in the first place. Oh, but here's the thing, hypocrites. During the COVID, and we were kind of talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
During the COVID, those same people, they weren't fighting for their rights. Everybody had to get the jab.
Yeah.
If you didn't get the jab, you were a murderer.
Right.
So where was my freedom of choice when it came to
not having that medical procedure?
Right.
Because it's experimental. It was an experimental.
It was not approved by the FDA.
No. So it kind of smacks of what, isn't that what, there was a thing one time called the Nuremberg?
Oh, the Nuremberg trials.
And that they're not allowed to do that. And in fact, but I guess Hitler wasn't very smart. He should have just pardoned himself and all his friends. Because then doesn't that make it okay? If he pardons himself?
Well, yeah, but I don't think that would have worked on the World War II.
but I'm saying
that's kind of a little different than Fauci.
But isn't, although I don't know really how much, I personally think he was personally responsible for the deaths of millions. I think they did that on purpose.
Well, yeah, war's on purpose.
I think they let that virus loose. I don't know if you ever heard much about the Nostradamus prediction about how the great queen.
Well, it's in the Bible too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's everywhere. But see, this is one thing I always have to educate people on. There's a difference between a prophecy and a prediction. The Bible prophesizes.
Yeah.
So prophecies are telling you this is what can happen or could happen if you do not choose to follow this path or go down this path. Then these are the things that can happen. That's a prophecy. Now, a prediction is set in stone. A prediction, like Nostradamus, says that this will happen, no matter what.
Yeah,
that this is going to happen. So I always have to tell my Bible people about that you're reading prophecies. It doesn't mean it has to happen. What God's telling you is if you don't get your shit together, and you don't fucking straighten up, and if you don't, get with the word, then this is what can happen to you.
Yep.
And then it gets into a whole bunch of spiritual stuff that I don't think that, how can I say this nicely? I don't think you and I are educated on the same level when it comes to some of the spiritual stuff like the Anunnaki and I'm not trying to put you down or nothing like that.
The Anunnaki's amazing.
The Anunnaki's amazing.
Everything's there.
So, and I talk about this on my podcast all the time, but there's so much proof around the world through ancient archaeology and through ancient writings and texts that several groups of alien species came here and they modified us and they made us. So from the beginning, we've been a slave.
We were created as slaves.
We are created as slaves.
We're
That's
cloned.
correct.
We are, and the reason why we have certain parts of our DNA shut off. No other animal has pairs that don't work. Why do we have 36 pairs and everything else in the world has 38? Because you need to have the same amount of pairs to clone. No. The Anunnaki, all of it was given to us by the sky gods. Isn't that what the Sumerians said? All of our stuff was given to us by.
Well, it's not just the Sumerians.
Well, right. They go up through.
It's all across the planet.
200 flood stories.
Yeah.
But somehow that's a fantasy.
Well, we know the deluge happened. I mean, we
of course we do.
But the thing that cracks me up about mainstream archaeology is they keep telling us that the pyramids are only like 4,000 or 5,000 years old, when we know that to be false, because when we found the Sphinx and the pyramids, they were half buried in sand, which had to be from the deluge, which we know was 12,000 years ago. So right then and there, that those two items were built before the deluge. And then the Bible talks about the Nephilim, right? The giants.
Yeah, the giants, which are on the earth now, even still.
And we have found thousands and thousands of bones, especially here in the United States. We through the
which you can't find anymore. They all them stories, you don't. They've lost the bones.
Well, I don't believe they've lost them.
They've lost the bones, quote unquote.
Well, the last article I read on that, this is what the Smithsonian said. The Smithsonian said that they took all the archived bones out of their archives of the giants and they gave them back to the Indian tribes, because that's where they said that they unburied a lot of these bones was from native tribes.
Yeah.
And it's recorded that the Native Americans used to be friendly with like Sasquatches and Nephilims, and it's all through their history that they were the giants. And then you got like the Hopi and the Navajo. I can't remember which one it is, but one of those two. They said that during the deluge, that the ant people came out from the ground and grabbed them and took them underground for the deluge. And then once the deluge was open, they opened the ground back up and let the American indigenous people back out. So it's there. I mean, all you got to do is just read it. I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to convince you of anything or, say that I'm right about everything or anything like that, but just learn things. Just, and a lot of stuff's on YouTube. Book of Enoch, Book of Enki.
I don't understand why the Book of Enoch isn't in the Bible.
That's big.
He walked with God. He watched the Watchers come through the gate. He was
Anunnaki.
That book, that Bible, was created by a group of people that wanted X amount of power too. The religion was created. The God is good. The religion's what's scary.
It's good to hear somebody say that, because
have you ever talked to a Catholic in depth or anything? They have these beliefs that have nothing to do with God.
Well, spirituality, right, exactly.
You be good inside in your spirit, and everything will be okay, and you trust in Him and follow His teachings, His path.
Well, Jesus' teachings, because Jesus taught us how to be one with God, and it has nothing to do with tidings, has nothing to do with sin, has nothing to do with Satan, has nothing to do with all these things that the Catholic Church have put in place. And I'm going to agree with you on this. And I know you probably haven't watched all my shows, but I talk a lot about this, that religion was, in my opinion, what I believe is religion was created for divisional purposes.
To control the people.
I believe that when the Anunnaki were here, and because we know that there were some in Egypt, some in South Africa, India. So I mean, we know some of the places that they were. And if you look at that, they're all different religions, different languages, and the people don't even look the same.
No.
Because I can remember when I was really young, I'd ask my grandfather, why is there white people, black people, brown people, yellow people, red people? I go, if God created us in his image, then what the fuck does God?
Yeah.
I mean,
multicolored.
I mean, yeah, is he like this rainbow dude?
Yeah.
You know, and when I was a child, I just couldn't put it all together, and I just couldn't grasp it all. And then as I got older and I started doing research, I started realizing that that's not the way that it's supposed to be.
No.
So I jumped out of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, the Catholics kind of frighten me. But all of them, really, in a way, they have their little things, and they don't go at all by the book. It's kind of like saying we're going to play football, but we're not going to use the football rule book. It was several years ago that the Pope says you don't necessarily have to believe in Christ to be a Christian. Well, wouldn't that be the definition? Christ-like Christianity, and so it's kind of like we're gonna accept every sin, and you do have to accept every sin. I've never hated somebody for their sin. I hate the sin, but you're a person, and who am I to tell you that what you're doing is blasphemous or what you're doing? But I don't have to agree with you either, and I don't have to follow along. And the left tends to do that. They like to use that Bible to say, well, like Christ was gay. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, and okay, are you know?
Well, let's say that he was.
Yeah, and well, yes.
Who cares?
That's the point. I think a lot of people, the LGBT crowd needs to learn is that we just don't give a shit. So you like guys, good. Now, right. Anyway, I'm here. I'm a contractor. I could tell you at least more than 20 times I'd walk into an apartment and I'd say, all right, I'm Warren. I'm here to put a piece of baseboard right here against this wall. And it's going to take a couple hours. I'd like to, you've dealt with me. I like to tell the tenant what's going on because they're renting here. And then they would look at me. First thing they'd say is, I'm gay. Okay. I'm Warren. I'm going to put a piece of baseboard. Now, are you going to attempt to rape me if I'm bent over in front of you is the only really thing I need to know. Because if not, because I'm assuming you're not, I'm not that cute, then I'm going to put this baseboard in. Your personal life or mind doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm Warren. I'm going to put a piece of baseboard in. Your landlord's going to pay me. That's called capitalism. Okay.
So to me, that's
they want attention.
Well, to me, that and it's victimhood.
Yeah.
Because if they don't tell you they're gay,
how would I know?
Then I can't be a victim.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you that I'm gay so that you'll have this preconceived conception of what I should be or who I am, and you're going to hate me, and then I can turn around and I can point my finger at you and I can call you homophobic because I told you I'm gay and now you don't like that. So now I'm the victim again. Or I'm playing. So that's the way that I see that. I mean,
I agree
because
I didn't need to know that.
Right.
It doesn't make any difference to me.
And then not only that, but I mean, one thing I've learned in this whole spiritual experience that I'm doing is that we all have our own roads to travel.
Yeah.
And we all have.
And you're going to travel.
Right. And you're going to.
Whether you want
so
or not.
It's not my place to tell you how to walk your path.
No.
It's not. And whatever you choose to do on your path, those are your choices. They're your experiences and they're your life. Now, if you want to share that, that's fine. I don't have any issues with that. But just don't try to force things on me.
Or make me help. Or make me help with your fantasy. I don't want to be involved.
Or victimize yourself using me.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I walked in the room. I'm going to put your board in. Well, I'm gay. Okay, well, what the fuck? What, you want some dick?
Yeah,
I mean, why?
What is it you want?
Why are you telling me this? And what does that information have to do with me fixing your board?
And I guess I should have just threw
Is
down
is your money different?
I guess I should have threw down the baseboard and said, "Well, I won't work for a gay person." And storm out. What are we talking about?
But see, they want that.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course they do. I'm a victim. Please pity me because it's harder on me than you.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. I mean, but don't. I mean, that's how I kind of see it. The liberals. They always have to be a victim of something.
Absolutely.
Always. I'm a victim of this. I'm a victim of that. I'm a victim. Really?
Life's hard.
Okay, so what? You're transgender, transsexual, or trans this or whatever. So what rights don't you have? Why are you different than me? Why? I don't understand. The only thing I can get out of this is it's self-victimization.
And if you didn't tell me, how would I know anyway?
Right.
If we're standing in line at the store, how would I know that you're a cross-dressing man at home?
Yeah.
How would I even? But if you
and
tell
then
me,
and then not only that, but if that person was gay and you were gay, then you'd probably have some type of like
you'd be able to tell his vibe.
Yeah.
Just like a woman.
Yeah.
You can tell if you can.
I would like to.
Vibration.
Yeah, vibrations. Yeah, we were
just
talking
like
about that earlier.
They get along. You could tell if you're not going to like somebody. Almost immediately, I know I'm not going to like that person. And that doesn't happen very often. But then some people, it's like, I really enjoyed talking to him.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. And it's all vibes, and people don't need to know. I mean, what are we going to have? Name tags? I'm Warren. I was from Maryland.
He, her.
I'm white. He, her. Well, the minute you start,
he, she.
Well, the minute you say that to me, I'm completely disengaged. With you. Oh, okay. So number one, I don't use pronouns as verbs or nouns.
Right.
He, they. I can't imagine talking like that. And if you have to teach me that, then obviously it's not natural.
Well, now we were talking about this a little earlier. Now that percentage of the country is less than 1%.
Yes, I know.
So we were talking about this earlier, how, we're talking about democracy, and the left is always streaming about how the conservatives are taking away democracy. Well, if you're going to let 1% of the country rule the other 99%, explain to me how that is democracy.
Well, it's not.
Isn't democracy the majority rules? I mean, am I wrong?
Look at how they handled it. Look at how they handled the Trump getting elected. You don't always win.
No.
In fact, I've hardly ever won. I haven't liked a president won, and I'm talking Bush and Clinton.
Right.
Clinton did some good stuff, I guess.
I voted for Clinton.
But he lied to me about the sex. All he had to say was, listen, I did something inappropriate in the White House. I apologize for that. And then the rest of this is between me and my wife. You don't think most men in the country understand cheating? And most women too, by the way. We pretend like women don't, but it's equal. And so it was kind of like, but he lied. And the minute you lie to me about anything, then I can really not take anything you say without some form of skepticism.
Well, not only that, but everybody knew he was a womanizer. It's like John F. Kennedy. I mean, he was a great president and all, but yeah,
he was a womanizer.
He could not keep his pecker in his pants, and that's just the reality of it. Now, does that make him a bad president? In my opinion, no. But I'm with you. Shouldn't have lied. He should have said, "Yeah, it came out. I made a mistake." And then
the funniest thing that I have ever heard people, and I always say this once in a while, but it's like, rich men use their money and power to get the hottest chick, and really hot women use their looks to get the most successful man. I didn't know that was going on, except that it's been going on for 6,000 years.
Right.
So what are you talking about? He's blah blah blah. Yeah, because he's got money, and you know what women like? Security. Period. That's how it works. We're not trying, which is what's the failure of the feminists are. They think men want a woman with a high-powered job that acts like a man. Well, we're not attracted to that, oddly enough, because most of us aren't gay. If I was gay, I'd be attracted to that, I guess. And so it's like, well, he doesn't care. I have a great job in the house. Yeah, but you're so unwomanly that you're annoying, and we're not attracted to that. I'm sorry, because I'm a man. Now, your new men, a lot of your new men, they're little tiny guys. They aren't men, and they want the woman to take care of you. I can't imagine having a woman pay all the bills. I can't imagine.
I can't. I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't have an issue with it.
But you lose control then, I guess. And it's kind of like, too, another thing. He's being controlling. Oh, he doesn't want you out partying with other guys while you're married to him. Oh, that's controlling. Oh, I thought that would be called being respectful in a relationship, you know. But I I've come to the conclusion that I'm old and I'm going to slowly die and not understand the world around me because there's certain things that people do, and I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you think that way? Well, or like the say, and I'm gay thing.
Right.
Why would that? I've never once said, oh, you're putting in baseball. By the way, I like women. Yeah. By the way, I like watching porn with lesbians. I mean, why would you say that?
I don't know.
You know, I prefer to shoot up heroin on the back of a hooker's butt. You know, stuff that you wouldn't share
Right.
on a daily basis because most people don't care. I think that's the thing too, that people think that people care about what you
Right.
think.
So that's why I think it's a victimization thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an insecurity thing. It's definitely some types, I don't want to use the word disorders, but it's definitely emotional issues with yourself, I think.
Not happy in yourself. You got to be happy and okay in yourself.
Yeah.
Once you accept yourself.
And on the other hand, too, I mean, I don't know what it feels like to think that I feel like a woman inside.
No.
I have no idea. And that's another problem with all this too, is they're sitting here telling me that I need to know, that I need to feel what they feel and I need to understand how they feel. Well, that ain't never going to happen.
No.
Because if I don't have those feelings and I don't understand and I don't experience it, I can never understand what you're going through or how you feel. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. But the point is, don't put your stuff on me because I can't never, ever understand and feel what you're feeling. It just isn't going to happen.
No.
So don't put that on me. So I don't know.
And I feel like I do. And there's people, everybody has their own little things. Most stuff doesn't even need to be discussed. We're here. That's all private stuff. We're working in a business type of, I'm here doing something. Why does I need to know anything about your personal history? I don't. And furthermore, why do you think I'm interested
Right.
in that? Why would you think, well, I wonder if he wants to know if I'm this? Well, I don't. I don't. As a matter of fact, I'm generally trying to get in and out and make my money. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't look at stuff. I'm not here to judge. I don't tell on people if their house is a pigsty or nothing.
Well, I had the same thing happen to me when I was contracting a while back. I rented a room in Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Interview went really well. And then at the end of the interview, the guy told me, he says, well, we're gay. We're a gay couple. And I said, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I said, are you going to try to convert me? Or,
do I have to be gay?
Yeah. Do I need to be gay to be in the house?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, no. And he goes, well, I'm just telling you. And I'm like, okay, so, okay. I said, it doesn't matter to me. And here's funny too. I went on another contract in Roswell, New Mexico. Ooh. It's kind of it's not real. It's kind of the same thing, but not really. The couple were cops.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about couldn't rent the room out? Yeah. They had been trying to rent the room out for months. And I interviewed with the wife, and she loved everything, and she said everything's great. And at the end of the conversation, she says, by the way, my husband and I are both police officers. And I said, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she goes, well, you're not going to hang up and run away? And I said, why would I do that? I'm looking for a room to rent.
I'm not looking for
I don't care what you do.
No.
As long as you're not like doing illegal stuff. I mean, yeah, if you're cooking meth in the back room, obviously I'm not staying there.
Well, you probably felt secure there. Both of them were cops. I feel pretty secure with that.
Oh, it was,
nobody's going to mess with me.
Well, it was really cool because I worked graveyard, and then some days I would come home, and he had to shoot so many rounds a month.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
similar to a cartel member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'd get home from work and I'd pull up in the front of the house, and I get in the house, and he'd say, "Hey, get in the car. We're going to go to the range." And we'd go to the police range. He'd open up the truck, and there's like 15 different guns back there. And I would, mind you, I'd been up for 14 hours all night.
Yeah.
It's like 8:30 in the morning. I'm out at some range plugging the AR-15s and 9mm and shotguns and all that kind of shit. But
I love guns.
So Yeah,
That's
but
a main thing.
but I mean, it didn't matter to me, that they were cops or that those people were gay, and actually um, those were two of my better experiences contracting with those people, especially the gay couple. They were really cool. James and James and Donald. I still they're on Facebook. I still kind of interact with them, but yeah, the guy owned a restaurant. He gave me food all the time. They were, I mean, I like you said, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to treat you differently because you tell me you're gay. I mean,
no, that has nothing to do with it.
or am I supposed to treat you differently?
Yeah.
I mean, is that what you're saying to me? Because you're gay, I need to treat you in a different format or a different way? I don't understand that. So, like what you said, when people say that to you, it kind of puts you
in a defensive mode. Like,
well,
like, what? Okay, what does that mean? Why are you?
Well, yeah. Now you got to step back and say, okay, so now what? I got to walk on the fucking rice paper,
yeah,
or So I don't get that whole bullshit. But at any rate, so yeah,
and it's not like they're treated bad anymore. And I don't know. I guess there was bad. There's men that rape people. There's people that beat up blacks.
Well, I know.
I don't know any of these people. I've never once been in a conversation with a group of my friends and go, "What do you want to do tonight? Let's get drunk and go rape a woman. Let's get drunk and go kill a black man." I've never been there for that conversation. And so I think of course, there's bad people. I personally think there's about 10% of the people in the world are not all that great. But for the most part, 90% are pretty much.
I say that all the time. I agree with that.
Do you agree with everything they think? Of course not. And in fact, how boring would that be if no one had a different opinion? You imagine it would be like communism.
It'd be like being dead.
Yeah, it'd be very similar to I say this.
If you don't have up and down life or up and down emotions,
it's designed for that. How do you know what happy is? If
you're right. You're lifeless.
You've never been either.
You're lifeless. If you don't have the downs to expose the highs and the highs to expose the downs, then you'll never experience those emotions and those things in your life. And that's, in my opinion, that's very bad. That's not a good thing.
I tell you, I have never learned anything from winning. I have learned everything from losing. Winning's easy. Winning's easy. When I make a whole bunch of money in a month, that's an easy month. But when you're down and up against the wall and things aren't going good, that's when you learn. That's when you grow. That's when you grow as a person inside. Winning, the winner goes home and fucks the cheerleader. That's the winner. But the loser has to learn, well, what did I do wrong? And then no one self-reflects. No one says, what did I do to help create this situation? Well, what did I do?
See, and I think that's what down times are all about. I think when your life crumbles and your life goes down, it's time for you to reset, rethink.
Look inside, too.
Introspect and look inside and then find out what your direction's supposed to be. I mean, it's happened to me several times in my life. I've had several back surgeries, and every time that's happened to me, it's completely taken my life out from underneath me. Yeah. Completely. I mean, completely raped me, left me laying on the side of the road with nothing. I mean, and am I angry? No. I mean, I went through it. I made it through it. I survived it.
You probably grew as a person. There's parts of you that grew as a person, even if you didn't know it. Because like I said, I've learned so much from failure, from doing something wrong and going, hey, wait a minute. And then if you don't look in that mirror, though, and it's always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Which is actually a big thing that I don't like about the liberal. Is that, well, you did this, and this, so you ended up here. No, it's not.
Well, that's both sides. The right does it just as bad as the left. It does.
Kind of true. But like the heroin, these poor homeless people, well, they made a lot of bad choices. Do I just keep giving them a fish and letting them go make the bad choice? Or do I say, hey, wait a minute, maybe don't get high at 9 a.m. and do nothing the rest of the day?
Well, yeah, if people are on drugs,
help you.
You don't sit there and give them free heroin and free needles.
Well, we do it. Yeah, we do. Yeah, well, we do. And then we, like the homeless people, we need affordable housing. Well, if you don't have an income, what exactly is affordable to you? Zero? So I have to pay? Oh, and I have to pay because I work hard, I'm stealing your ability to work hard. What kind of communist crap is that?
See, now I've thought about this. In my solution, and I don't know if it'll work, but I think I can't think of the word I'm thinking. Like prisons and our system, our prison system.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to run it, I would try to do something like where you build these like little miniature cities, and instead of putting people in now, there's some people you're going to have to keep locked up. I mean,
5 to 10%.
I mean that's right off. But most people that are in prison aren't really bad people. They were misguided and fucked up and made
horrible shit.
Right. I know this because I have 3 boys, and I have 2 of them that are on that path, and they stay on that path.
Yeah.
But
I'm lucky that way.
So my solution when I've thought about this is if we build like a city, and then like there's a baker, a butcher, a farmer, a liquor store salesman,
productive people.
Yeah, so you build like this little town, and then you teach all these people how to cooperate with each other in a society, and teach them how to function
in a
society. Then you throw them out, because you can't. I don't understand how you could lock someone up for 10 years
and expect them to be bad,
and then kick. But you ever see that movie Shawshank Redemption?
Oh, I love that movie.
Where that old man, remember that he hung himself?
Yeah,
Brooks. Yeah, because Brooks got out, and the world was so different, and the system didn't
do anything for him.
Yeah,
he didn't want to leave. Remember, he said, "I don't want.
Yeah,
I don't want to go."
My sons told me that.
Yeah,
I have a son that's in prison. He's been in and out, and he actually told me that if he could figure out some way that he'd never have to come out again, he would do it.
Because they take care of you, they make all your decisions for you, and decisions are hard. Yeah. Living is hard. Just making the right decision.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said prison's easy.
Oh, of course, they feed you. You take a shower now. You go take a shower now.
But
you're going to go to bed now.
To live in the real life where you have to make all your own decisions every moment of your life that affect other people, that's not easy.
No. Always have to do the right and to do the right thing when no one's looking.
So do you think that would be a cool idea?
I think it would absolutely be one to try, because it's not working. You can't cage a man.
No, you can't cage a man.
When you cage a dog, you've seen dogs. A dog that's never, ever let off his leash, if he gets off his leash, he's gone. Instead of allowing him to say, all right, yes, you can wander around the yard a little bit. I'm going to stay right out here with you, and letting him have a little freedom. When you hold somebody in so tight, the minute they get a chance to get away from you,
they're gone.
They're gone. And that what is that old saying? If you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it loved you. That's so true, is that we try to hold things and not let things just be.
So my point is, I just don't think we actually rehabilitate.
No, we
people.
don't. No, there's none of that. No. And as a matter of fact, a lot of them, you take the new where they come from, out of the ghettos. Their mother wasn't there usually. Their father wasn't there. What is different between prison and outside? In prison, they're fed. And somebody cares about them a hair.
But not only that, but they end up getting a family inside prison.
Absolutely, they get,
because they have to buddy up with certain individuals to survive.
That's what gangs are.
Right, exactly. Gangs are family, which which should not exist anymore. Your family should be your family, and there's no reason why you can't have an exterior family or an extended family.
Yeah.
With like I got friends that live in England, and for all intents and purposes, they're in my extended family because they come out and they see me every 2 years, and I house them and feed them and to help take care of them. And I'm not that they don't pay for it. I'm not saying I do all that for free for nothing.
Yeah.
They do help out. It's not like they come over to leech off of me. So Evie, everything's okay, Evie.
Yeah.
Well, she'll be listening to this, so so Evie, you're good. I'm not complaining. I love you.
Well, it's a tapestry of your life. The people that you have in it.
Well, my point is they're my extended family. I mean, I can talk to them about anything and do anything, and when we come, when they come out, we all take care of each other. So
there's people you can call. Everybody has them. Well, not everybody, but I guess there's people I can call, and I know they won't ever let me down.
Right.
And then when I'm up against it, and do I call them a lot? No, because that's another thing. People say, well, why don't you help me? Because you made me help you 17 times this month. Can you please get your shit together? Why do you need more money? Why don't you, and it's kind of like, Well, yeah, you never do it. I do everything for you sometimes. It needs to be reciprocal. In other words, I do something, and not even count has been counted, but I'm doing this, this, and this for you. But boy, I had a flat tire, and you couldn't get out of your ass and come get me.
Okay,
Really?
so this is what I've learned about that. I've learned to never ever expect anything from anybody ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Always be self-sufficient.
And, well, yeah, self-sufficient, yes, but I mean, in my eye, in my view, when I give something to somebody, it's a gift, and what they do with that gift is none of my business.
Yeah.
It's theirs. And
You know something? Funny thing about me, you're gonna find this humor. I hate moving. I'd rather if you looked at me, if you looked at me and said, Warren,
you'd want to hang out with me then. That's all I do is move.
I'm gonna take you out back and I'm gonna beat you for 10 minutes with a stick. Or you can help me move. I'm gonna be heading out back to take the beating. So I've never asked for help moving. I have moved so many completely by myself. My kids once in a while because they were little.
Right.
But by myself. And you know why? So no one will ask me to help them move. That's the only reason. It's because, no. Can you help me move? No. I'd rather be beat with a stick. It's one of them things I don't like moving. And so I don't ask for help, nor do I usually give help.
Right, but that's a single situation though. That's
what I mean. It was kind of funny when you said that.
That's the exception, not the norm.
Yeah.
Right, because normally when you give something to somebody, you don't ever expect anything.
No. But a lot of people do.
Yeah,
well, I did this, and then you did that, and it's like, well, I didn't ask you to do
then
that.
Then it isn't a gift.
No. Oh, no.
In my eyes.
Now, back onto the Anunnaki stuff, which is going to go completely opposite way. So what I've watched a lot of stuff. The hominoids, which are your Yeti, your Sasquatch, they are the original Earth beings. We were cloned with them by the Anunnaki to do some kind of slave work. They supposedly to get the gold or something because their planet was having trouble. That's one of the legends I heard. But
Zachary Stetson.
Yeah. And so they pretend like well, there's no Sasquatch or there's no this. Because people have been everywhere. We inhabit a tiny little fraction of this fucking world. We don't go. We live in the best parts. We don't live in the swamps. What's in there? The North Woods and the Pacific Northwest. Would we know if there's an animal in there? How would we know? Unless he comes out and says, "Hi, I'm in here." No, they stay away from us because humans tend to be violent to other things. So if I knew you might kill me and I'm hiding out back in your woods, why would I say, oh, by the way, I'm over here? No, I'm going to stay away from you. And so I have to laugh. We act like none of this stuff, like we're it, like we're the pinnacle. And I hate to say it, I don't think we are. I think we're just another one of them.
No, we're babies.
Yeah. Oh, spiritually wise, we are very stupid. We are very infamous.
So my belief about the Sasquatch and other creatures is that they're dimensional. And from the research I've been doing, we're supposed to be going through a shift here real soon between the third dimension and the fifth dimension. And a lot of these creatures, I believe, are in the fourth dimension. And now that our solar system and our galaxy is moving through the part of the universe where the vibrations are getting higher, we're starting to fluctuate into the fifth dimension. And when that happens, you're going to start seeing more and more creatures from the fourth dimension, like dragons,
Yep.
hobbits. You said you're not on X, but if you go on X or a lot of places, there's a lot of strange creatures being seen right now around the planet. Really weird creatures. And I think that's because we're shifting we're shifting dimensions right now. So I think during this period, while that's happening, I think we're going to see a lot of things that we don't
understand.
And of course, because of the way that human nature is we're automatically going to call them demons and devils, and we're automatically going to demonize everything. It's kind of like the dragon. Why in Europe was the dragon bad, but why in Asia the dragon was good?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense to me right there, because that tells me that the Vatican or the Catholic Church demonized the dragon, because if you look at Chinese religions or Eastern religions, that the dragon was a good thing. The dragon brought wisdom, and the dragon brought peace, and the dragon brought information.
Yeah.
The dragon brought prosperity. So the dragon and the unicorns. Unicorns were another one. These creatures, they brought us all these wisdoms of spirituality on how to reach God, the creation, the source, and how to be one with the universe, and how to do all this stuff. And then I believe it was the church who turned the dragon into a devil.
Yeah.
Because the church, in my opinion, does never ever want the true teachings of Jesus Christ to be revealed. Because if it was, and everybody truly understood it, then we would all be ascending on a spiritual level, and we wouldn't need the church.
No, we wouldn't need them.
And they can't have that. We gotta, the church has got to be, supported and we have to support the church when that's all bullshit, because that's not what Jesus taught. No. Jesus taught spirituality. He did not teach church. He did not teach religion, none of that crap. So yeah, when it gets into the Anunnaki, also, because the definition of Anunnaki is those from heaven who came to earth. So it's not just one race of individuals.
Oh, no.
And for my research, it's anywhere between 5 to 12 different species of aliens that were here at the same time. And that's why we have all these different races, and why people don't
each had different programs.
Right.
Whatever it is they were doing.
And that's why, this is my opinion, and that's why we have different religions, different languages, and all this kind of stuff, because I believe the gods in those days wanted to keep us segregated. They didn't want you in my backyard, and you didn't want me in your backyard. Right. So we created these divides,
which they use for race now, especially.
Right. So if you don't speak my language and you come into my gate, fuck you.
Yeah. You're Indian.
Right.
You're Indian, and I'm Irish.
Right.
So we're not supposed to talk to each other.
Right.
Nothing frightens the power worse than, I have several black friends, and I'm not saying that to say.
I know.
But and we discuss stuff, and we discuss race and all that, and nothing makes them more frightened than the fact that me and them don't automatically hate each other.
Right.
I didn't know I had to hate you because you were a slightly different tone than me. Are you a good man? Do you take care of your family? Do you go to work? And I don't really give a shit what color your skin is.
Yeah, no.
Nor do I care what you do in your bedroom. Nor do I care if you don't mow your lawn every 2 weeks, but you go 3 weeks. All this stuff is so irrelevant, but they have to have us focused, because COVID was similar to that. If you're here by yourself, I can so much easier come in here and take care of you and kill you than if you got a group of 10 people here that are on your side.
Right.
Then I have to have a larger group to take over. So we want everybody all alone. No human contact, which is what spirituality is like what we're doing now. This is how spirituality works, is we're blending spirits and discussing stuff. You take that away, it's kind of like the UBI and all that. You take away a person's purpose, you've killed their soul.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kill a person's soul, I don't give a shit how much money you have. You have no soul. That money has never bought me happiness. I make fairly decent money for a ninth grade dropout. It's never once have I thought, you know what? I had a kid kill himself. I would have given all that money in that pile in my drawer to have him back, because the money gave me nothing. My child is what was important.
Well, yeah, and money, you can't take it with you. I mean,
oh my God, they're not going to put a stick.
No, none of this stuff, none of this materialistic shit. But I do.
It doesn't make you happy either.
No, but I do believe the younger generations are waking up to that.
Oh, I'm amazed at how smart the younger generation is.
Because I can tell you, my fucked up generation did nothing but work their life away.
Absolutely.
These young kids,
they're not gonna.
No, they will not.
Nor are they gonna.
And I was stupid at first. And I started condoning them, like, that's bullshit. You shouldn't do that. You should be this and that, and then I started thinking and looking back at my life and how much time I lost with my children.
You didn't get to see them raised, did you? You
no.
were working.
Yeah.
You were working. I say here, I missed everything. I had to make that money. And you know what?
So it made me question what was right or what was wrong. And my answer to that was my generation had it all fucked up.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I shouldn't have had to do that. I should have been home on the weekends. I should have been home at night. I should have been there.
And you miss that. You can't get to go back.
Right.
You can't go back. You can never get that back. And who's to say? As I've got one older one that gets in the left.
I don't do it anymore.
Who's to say if that had to happen that way, would your boy be imprisoned on that path?
Well, there's a whole bunch of other.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
no,
but it doesn't just roll on that because she took the kids away, and there's a whole bunch of a lot of circumstances around my situation, but which I'm not going to get into. But
we've really done away with fathers. We really don't want fathers in the picture. And the one important thing that, if statistically, without fathers, kids don't have the same outcomes. Period. Do we need mothers? Of course. You know what we do? We need them equally.
Yes.
They are equally important. There was a plan, and we did this plan for 5,500 years or so of written history. And now all of a sudden, no, single mother. 85 or 86% of your prison population was raised by single mothers. Can we not look at stuff and say, well, wait a minute, that don't sound right? Can we? No.
Or just call it racist, which is what they do.
You sexist son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but then why is this the stat? Why is a child with no father in the picture at all, no male thing?
Well,
why is he 33% more likely to commit suicide? Why are those statistics playing out? Why? And I'm not saying we have to prove he who's wrong. I'm saying, but you have to look. It's kind of like the autism. There was no autism when I was a kid.
No, that didn't either.
But if I say, maybe we need to look at the vaccines, or maybe we need to look at this, you son of a bitch. Well, autism has increased 1,000%.
Yeah.
You know,
ADHD, autism.
But you know what? A lot of it is, and I'll say this, and my old lady gets mad at me sometimes, but it's kind of like, you meet the single mom, and then you wait for the initials of what basically she's saying is, you don't know how to raise your kid and make him do stuff to be a child, to be an adult. So we have to have, he can't possibly behave. He's got ADHD. No, he can't possibly behave because you ain't put your foot up his ass. My boys, they tried to put him on medicine, my oldest one, my 18-year-old. And I said, no, I'm not doing that to my ex-wife. I'm not giving him the medicine, so it ain't going to work. He's here half the time because we split him right down the middle. And I told him, I said, give him a man teacher. He needs a man teacher. He does not jump around for me. When I tell him something, it is done because he knows that there will be ramifications if he doesn't. If I tell you to put that down and you don't, I'm going to punish you.
Okay, so I'm going to agree and disagree with you. I have ADHD.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it don't exist.
And from what I'm learning, because it's taking me my whole life to even understand.
Realize you had it, probably.
Right. So now that I understand it, what I would do instead of, I didn't take any medications or anything, but what I would do in today's world, I think, would be to set up a program to teach people how to calm their mind, like maybe meditation, or to teach people how to work both sides of their brain better. I mean, there's things. Okay, I'm going to say this straight up. I don't believe in big pharma on any level, for nothing, for zero.
No.
I mean, I believe in doctors, and I believe, like, when you break an arm or you need a surgery, or like from my example, when I died, my appendix blew up. I had to have a surgery. That's acceptable. But to have high blood pressure and take all these fucking statin drugs and all these drugs when you know damn well that beets, celery, and there's all of these foods that God has given us. There is no reason for us to be on pills. None. Zero.
Everything is here. He put everything here. All the cures, all the diseases, and the chemicals is what's killing us. Have you watched TV at all late at night? Every third commercial
is a pharmaceutical.
And it's kind of like, you know what? You got dry eye. We got some drops for you.
TED, Ozempic, and all this shit.
But the side effects are projectile vomiting, projectile diarrhea, thoughts of suicide, killing your family, and you may die.
Okay,
I think I'll live with a dry eye.
Okay, so now check. So now check this out. I'm the government. I'm going to put sugar in everything and make everybody fat. and get cancer. And then I'm going to come up with another drug called Ozempic.
Yeah.
That if you take that drug, it's going to get rid of the fat that I gave you from all the sugar and all the poisons that I put in your food in the first place.
Or it's going to kill your kidneys.
So I'm going to put you on Ozempic, which, by the way, no one's talking about, is a lifetime drug.
Oh, absolutely. You can't not do it. You can't stop.
You can't stop it.
No. And
then they don't tell you this. They don't say it to you.
Oh, no. So in other words, so the one thing that won't work is watching your diet and exercise. That will not work to lose weight. That's absolutely insane because that takes personal responsibility. But we got a shot that we can sell you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the vaccines. You got people with 9 and 10 boosters. You know what? If I come into your cellar and I work on your furnace 9 times in a row and it keeps getting worse, at what point are you an idiot for not calling a different burner?
Right, exactly.
At what point do you got to say, well, wait a minute, Warren, I don't think you know what you're doing. And you know, I'd have to look at you and say, I think you're correct because I keep making it. No, the Ozempic's scary because what it is they want quick. All right, I've done all these bad decisions and I need something to fix it in a minute. Well, no, you're big. You have to control your calories. You can't sit on a couch,
eat potato chips and play video
chips and never move and wonder why you're overweight.
Right.
It's so simple. But that's why all these problems, which is all I've thought years ago, you know, if you think that the government really likes us and these people are concerned about us, then the stuff they do is incompetent. It's just incompetent. It's a mistake. But if you think that maybe they hate us and they want to destroy us, everything they do makes absolute sense.
It does. Genocide makes absolute sense.
If you're them.
I mean, no. See, when I sit down and I think about all this stuff that's going on in the world,
it's all easily fixed.
It all comes back to genocide because why else would world leaders put poison in the ground so the plants die?
Yeah.
Why would you put poison in your food so your people die? Spray the air with chemtrails? Well, I mean, why would you do all this stuff to your society
if you didn't hate them?
Exactly. Well, if you didn't want them dead.
Right. That's the point.
And the problem I'm having right now is I'm so fucking afraid to eat anything anymore. I mean, I'm surprised I'm not 150 pounds by now, but I don't really eat. I go to the grocery store and I walk down the aisles and I panic because
you eat real food though. Like
yeah.
we had this morning.
Yeah.
That's why you're alive. It's like me. The reason I
eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of meat, eggs.
Meat, potato. Yeah. Nope, not a lot of processed. And I think I've mistakenly, by accidentally not trusting anything, helped myself.
Yeah.
Because I've never been, I'm on 2 high blood pressures now. I had a hurt finger and apparently, and you know what? They keep my blood pressure down, but is my blood pressure supposed to be that low? Is it? Well, they say it is, but you know, I wasn't feeling bad.
Right.
So maybe I'm trucking along. It's kind of like cigarettes. I'm a pack and a half cigarettes a day. Well, you know, if I quit and get cancer tomorrow, I'm going to be some pissed. I quit if I want to quit, but if not, those aren't what's going to kill me.
No.
And if they do, wasn't I dying anyway at the end? In other words, these people think they're never going to die. Well, no, you're going to die. In fact, death is a release into the next step.
So I found
be frightening.
So I found out there's basically like 4 or 5 foods that will keep you healthy for the rest of your life. Lemons, limes.
Yeah, I like lemon.
And
I like lime.
Ginger, fresh ginger root. Turmeric. Okay.
Yeah.
And
that
then
turmeric, is that like, because you know that the Mormons, you're not allowed to have anything with turmeric in it. Coffee. What does coffee have in it? Turmeric or no?
Caffeine.
No, but it also has turmeric. It's a T word, and it's in wine too.
No, that's not turmeric. Turmeric's a little root.
I'm trying to think what the heck it is.
I was Mormon. I never heard anything like that.
But you're not supposed to. Mormons aren't supposed to drink coffee or any of that.
No, that's not what it says.
Yeah.
It says hot drink.
Oh, really?
Yes. It does not say coffee or tea. It says hot drink. And when I asked about that, they told me that because tea and coffee has caffeine in it, it's considered addictive. And according to the Mormon religion, addiction takes away your free agency because the Mormon religion is all about 2 things, Jesus Christ and free agency. It's about free agency, about choosing your choices. It's not about sin. It's not about fucking up. It's not about all that negative. That's why I went to the Mormon church.
Because I was baptized Mormon.
Yeah, I was too. And I baptized the dead and all that shit. But
although I don't do any religion.
No, I don't either.
I don't trust them. I personally think that the Catholic Church is the Church of Satan. If you look at
the Vatican is at the least.
And if you look at that Pope's throne, it's an upside down cross. But the one thing that always amazes me is one of the specific things they say in that Bible. It says in that Bible is there will be no representative of God on earth before the second coming. That's the sentence pretty much. But the Pope is what? The representative of God on earth. Well, the rule book says no.
Well, that's what the Pope says, and that's what the Catholic Church says.
So that tells me right there that he's not with God.
Yeah, but see, when you get into the spiritual world, then you realize that all of that's bullshit.
Oh, it's all people made.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah. Because
there's only one thing, and there's only one thing only, and that's the source.
Right.
And that means we all come from the same thing, and we are all the same thing. We're all connected in a universal way through vibrations and through our frequencies.
You know what I've thought about? And I've always kind of battled, not always, but the last few years, that it's one soul and we share it. It is one main source. It's one soul, and it's a bazillion different experiences for that soul. But it all comes
that could be a way to look at it.
It all comes back to that we are one.
Right, the source.
We are one, and we are the source. The universe.
But now what's kind of cool? What's kind of cool is the way I understand it is by having experiences, we actually expand the universe. So by living our lives freely and by experiencing life itself, we help to grow the universe. That's what I've learned. I mean, I don't know. I've got no way to prove it or anything.
You grow from experience. You, like I said,
which makes sense.
Right back to I've never learned nothing from winning. I've learned everything from losing because it's an experience. And so when you have to get done, when you have to actually be honest with yourself, well, what did I do to cause that? Well, what did I do that didn't cause that? What should I do with it? And it's no self-reflection, no concern of the universe. They're trying to make it so we're just, we're like a groundhog. We have our lives, we're born and we die, and nothing matters.
Right.
There is no higher power. There is no this. You got to follow along with the herd. The herd right now thinks it's okay to cut off boys' penises and turn them into girls, and that this is okay, and so you got to shut your mouth and go along with the herd. I've never seen a group of people that can't take any form of disagreement. I prefer, if I'm doing something and you look at me and say, Warren, that's a dumb way to do that, I'm going to stop and listen to you for a second.
Yeah.
I need to know why is it dumb, and then I have no choice but to bowl that over in my head. Well, I may be wrong. I may actually be fallible. and then once you get that in your head that you can be fallible, oh man, life is so much easier.
It really is. And from what I've learned from my spiritual journey, it's all about the ego. And as soon as you can drop your ego and get rid of the ego and understand that you're part of the source and that you're part of the universe,
that you're not God. You're not a God. You're not amazing.
Well, no, we are amazing. We're all amazing, and we all have abilities. But because we have ego, the ego shuts down our spiritual abilities because your ego is your human ability. It's your earthly abilities. It's not your spiritual ability. So when you shut down the ego, you open up the spiritual, you open up your pineal gland, and you're able to experience things at a way higher, at a way higher level where you can access information, you can access things, events.
Third eye.
Your third eye, yep.
Third eye.
Yep.
And I've become more. I tell you, the one thing that the country has done is it's made me become more of a believer in Christ. But every day I have to think to myself, this can't be just random. This is a master plan by an entity that's way smarter than me.
I believe that the world is getting more spiritual versus more religious.
Yeah, yes.
Because the Christianity is going away. I mean, it's slowly getting eroded. But at the same time, all these spiritual churches are popping up. I don't know about here, but in Arizona,
there's a lot of
there's a lot of almost all the new churches that are popping up are non-denominational, which means that they're spiritual churches. So you go there not to listen to all these books and all this preaching and all that stuff, but you go there to learn how to reach your higher self and how to reach, be one with God, be one with the universe, and how to live that way. So I like that, and I think that's what's creating a higher frequency on the planet right now, and I think that's why everything is. I mean, I don't know about you, but since Trump came into office, you can feel.
Oh, the difference.
It's almost like the black veil just got removed off the whole planet. I mean, it's I can feel the energy all over the whole planet has changed. I feel that. I don't know how you feel about that.
Different. Well, you can. It's because I got to tell you something too. Number one, it'll never be the same. Politics has never been.
No.
He is one of a kind. I'm not a sycophant by any stretch of the imagination. I never watched You're Fired. I never watched any of his shows. I never thought one way or the other about Donald J. Trump.
I never did.
However, that man actually did a couple things that he said he was going to do, which to me, after 60 years, was amazing. All right. You weren't lying. Oh, I'm sorry. I still used you lying. And then I've never seen somebody hate. I didn't hate either one of my ex-wives in the middle of the divorce as much as these people hate him. He could save a child from a well, and somehow he abused that well. I've never seen the man walked across and talked to Kim Jong-un, or the dude from North Korea. Well, he didn't get a peace deal. He walked across and shook his hand. You know how friendship starts? By saying, "Hi, I'm Warren," and shaking hands. It doesn't immediately start with me living in your back bedroom. "Hi, I'm Warren. I'm your best friend now." No, and it's kind of like everything he does. And so what it does is, I have a target child. Long story about the family. But anyway, the middle one, always his fault. And I used to say, "Oh, so Lucas is the only one who does anything wrong." Really? Huh. None of these other kids do it. I said, I don't believe that. Okay, right. Number one, it doesn't sound right. And I think you're wrong. And I think people do things that are wrong. And some kids get picked on others more than others. But this whole, it's always his fault. Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe you. Tell me more. I don't believe you because, number one, what's he doing was so bad? That son of a bitch, he wants to open up the CIA. The Kennedy files coming out. Oh, my God, I can't believe he's going to do that. Well, in a representative republic, I, as the public, have the right to know almost everything because you are doing it in my name.
Well, we own it.
Right? You are doing this in my name. You are bombing these children in my name.
See, in my opinion, the problem is somewhere down the road, things got put upside down, whereas we, the people, went to we, the government.
Yeah.
Or I, the government. And I don't know if that was World War I, World War II, but it doesn't matter. But what matters is it happened.
Yeah.
And things flipped, and now it's the norm, and everybody thinks the government should take care of them, and that's fucked up, and it's wrong. You need to take care of yourselves, and you're all going to go through troubled times, and you're all going to go through problems, and you're all going to go through what they call life. We're all going to go through it. We're all going to experience it. So it's just
another little funny side story. Back, I used to work for a pretty good sized landlord, and he'd call me sometime once in a while. The tenant would decide to call code, see if he could get somebody in trouble, see if he could start a problem. And so I said, "Oh, he called code." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I'll go over tomorrow." "Oh, you don't want to go today?" I said, "Well, no, code's going today. They'll take care of it, right?" And I said, "I'll be there tomorrow. I don't care how cold it is. I have heat at my house." And I'd show up the next day, and I'd knock on the door, and I'd say, "So code was here yesterday. Is it all better now, all fixed?" Well, no. I said, you realize if you hadn't called code and tried to be a jerk and try to maybe get someone in trouble, I'd have been here yesterday and you'd had heat. But you see, I wanted to give code time because they're code. Well, what did code do?
I don't know. What is code?
Code is like, all right, you got to have that doorknob's got to be 36 inches higher.
Oh, you mean building code? Building code. Okay.
And some code's good, but it's kind of like, so you call code, you didn't call your landlord. You called code to fix a problem. And then you think, I'm going to rush over here because you called code. I don't respect my government. And so I don't jump and fetch for them. And they can kiss my ass. And so, I used to tell him all the time, it was Jay, it was his name. He said, "Really? You're going to wait till tomorrow?" Yeah. Code fixing it, right? Isn't code over there? Oh, code doesn't fix anything because just like every other government agency, they don't fix nothing. They just point. Oh, you should have your grass. Well, can I go to your house and look at your house? Oh, I can't, can I? Because your house ain't perfect either.
Right.
And I've done that more than once. It was so funny. The look on their face. Well, no, code didn't fix it. Oh, I thought they were because you called them first instead of your landlord to get me over, who happens to be an oil burner technician and knows how to fix it. All right, that's how, and you would be amazed. But I'm kind of a jerk about stuff because I give people what they want. Oh, you said you wanted it. Look, I like the girl on the couch. Well, you killed your kid. Isn't that the truth? Okay. Well, I can't believe you said that. That's kind of why I like Trump. They say he's mean. No, he's not. He tells the truth.
Yeah, it tells the truth.
And truth is very distasteful sometimes.
Well, no. It is to those who
don't like it.
Right. It is to those who don't tell it.
Wouldn't you rather have the truth, though?
Yes.
I thought you were an asshole. And I told you that instead of pretending. If I was, hey, I like him, blah, blah. And I actually truly thought you were. Wouldn't you rather me tell you, you know what, I think you're an asshole?
Well,
we can work from there, but we can't work if I'm lying.
Right.
No,
you're right.
Oh, he's a great guy. He's this and this. Well, I had a guy who worked for me for years, and the guy's dead now. I ain't gonna mention his name, but nice guy. He did a lot for me with my family, but I didn't like doing business with him because he was one-sided shit. And so my guy that worked for me said, well, we're going over to see your best friend, blah, blah, blah. I said, I can't stand him. What? I said, I can't stand him. I don't like doing business with him. And he said,
I've had that.
I didn't realize that. I said, well, you wouldn't, because I can pretend I can work beside Satan.
Right.
That's what I have to do to get what I want.
Right.
However, no, I didn't like him. Didn't like him. In the end, he ended up doing a whole lot for me when I got divorced. And so at the end, I had to say that, you know what? He's a pretty straight up guy. I just don't like doing business with him. If you're trading invoices, make sure he goes first. Type of deal.
Well, and everybody has that. I mean,
everybody's self-centered.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, you go to a job or you have a job or go to work or whatever. There's always an individual in there that you're not going to get along with that you have to.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So, hey, Warren,
we done?
We're about out of time. So, want to thank everybody for joining, and we'll see you next Thursday. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Have a good day.
Bye.